胡润 Rupert Hudrov， 胡润百富的创始人。继推出大家耳熟能详的土豪排行榜之后，今年他又将目光聚焦在了中国高净值家庭子女的海外留学选择。中国学生海外留学数量已经连续7年快速增长。以美国为例，2014年28万中国学生占美国海外留学生总数的1/3，排名第1。对此，胡润有话说。本期精英说，胡润为您带来他对中国低龄化留学趋势的看法和建议。
There's been a real trend recently about Chinese students going to study overseas. And first is 10 years ago, it was always Australia and Canada. Today it is, without any doubt, America and the UK. The second trend is that 10 years ago, it was probably going for a master's, aged 23, 24, to do maybe 1 or 2 years, mainly in America. Nowadays, actually, people are sending their kids to study much earlier, age 16. So instead of spending maybe 1 or 2 years in America, they're now spending probably 8 years in America or overseas for studies. So they're the two biggest trends that we see at the moment. For any parent anywhere in the world, to get your kid into Harvard University to do an undergraduate is probably an ultimate sign of success. And in the top 20 universities in the world, probably at least over half are based in the US. So there's no surprise that the US universities are actually so powerful. But the actual application for a good university is not very easy. I mean, you can't just turn up at age 18 with very good results and then expect to get into a great university in America. Now what's happening is that people are actually beginning to send their children to the schools that will do the best preparation for these universities. Everybody knows it's your academic ability that's going to get you into university. That's really the key driver. But 10 years later, when you're in a job and you're trying to work out, maybe you're working in a bank or you're working in a real estate company, and it's your academic ability will help you a little bit, but much more importantly, it will be your leadership ability and your sort of all-round abilities. These are things that are much more important. So for life, your academic is going to help you, but not going to be great. But for real life, it's your leadership, it's your team building, it's your communication skills. And these are things that you can learn in a university environment, especially like a holistic, all-round education environment. In America, 1/3 of all the international students are actually Chinese. And there is a big tendency when you're coming from a Chinese language, mother tongue environment in China, to international somewhere like America, that you'd want to stick together. It's normal. I mean, it's completely normal. You enjoy the same, you have a very fluent conversation, and it's really up to the schools, I think, to try and break out these clusters. So it's not the fault of the students. The students will naturally always come together. It's completely normal. You have the same background, you have the same food, you have the same culture, the same TV shows when you're a little kid and that sort of stuff. But when you get to the universities or to the schools, the universities and schools, they must try their best to help these small groups break out. So there's been a lot of stories about Chinese going to study overseas, spending their entire time with Chinese friends, and at the end, knowing very few foreign friends and very little improvement to their English almost. Clearly that's not what people want when they send their kids to study overseas. University is a great time for making new friends and breaking down barriers, doing stuff that you'd never thought of doing before. And I think that's what makes it so exciting, because you're away from your parents. Most kids, they're away from their parents for the first time. Explore things that you never explored before. And I think that's really what, in my opinion, makes university stand out. And it can range from sports and activities to meeting types of friends that you'd never meet before, etc. That's really how I think made university such good fun.